It's the stuff of nightmares for mushroom foragers, and it's feared by pretty much anyone who knows its name. Today, we are talking about the infamous death cap mushroom, Amanita phalloides. I mean, just look at it. Doesn't look like much, does it? But don't let that fool you. This right here is the single most poisonous mushroom in the entire world. And get this, just half of one of these little caps contains enough poison to kill a healthy adult. So, you're probably thinking, okay, world's most poisonous mushroom, it can't possibly get any worse than that, right? Well, you'd be wrong, because brand new research shows this mushroom isn't just deadly, it's actively evolving to become even deadlier. So let's dive in and try to understand what makes this thing such a perfect, and honestly, a perfectly terrifying killer. And it all begins with its looks. It's a master of disguise. And here is the first huge problem. It's got this innocent-looking white stem and a kind of yellowish-brown cap, which means it can be so easily mistaken for perfectly safe edible mushrooms like the straw mushroom or a young puffball. And with lookalikes this close, there is absolutely no mushroom for error. Sorry, I had to. And that kind of confusion, well, it has devastating consequences. This one single species of mushroom is responsible for a staggering 90% of all fatal mushroom poisonings across the entire globe. That's just insane. And its lethal reputation is nothing new. We're talking way back. The death cap is the alleged culprit behind the deaths of historical figures like Pope Clement VII and even Roman Emperor Charles VI. So, just a quick word of advice, if you happen to be a time-traveling Roman emperor watching this, maybe just stick to the grapes. Now you might think, oh, can't you just cook the poison out? Nope, absolutely not. The toxins in a death cap are incredibly stable. You can cook it, you can dry it, you can freeze it. It does absolutely nothing to get rid of the poison. There have been modern tragedies that prove this exact point, making it a grimly effective poison even today. So this poison is clearly effective. But how does it actually work? What does it do to the human body? Well, that brings us to the anatomy of a poisoning. This is where it gets truly diabolical. After you eat it, for at least 6 hours, nothing happens. You feel totally fine. Then, bam, you're hit with violent nausea and sickness. But then, it stops. You actually start to feel better. And that false recovery is the deadliest trick of all. Because while you're thinking you're in the clear, the toxins are silently and systematically destroying your liver and kidneys, leading to complete organ failure days later. The primary weapon in its arsenal is a toxin called amatoxin, and it is nasty. It works by targeting a tiny little factory inside your cells that's job is to build proteins, the literal building blocks of your body. Amatoxin basically gets in there and just shuts the factory down permanently. And without new proteins, your cells can't function and they just start to die. Now, despite all of that, it's not an automatic death sentence. If you get immediate medical care, like doses of activated charcoal, the survival rate is actually pretty high, around 80 to 90%. But, and this is a big but, survival can come at a huge cost. The damage to your cells is permanent, sometimes requiring a full liver transplant or even lifelong kidney dialysis. So this all leads to a really fascinating scientific question. If the poison takes forever to kick in, and the mushroom doesn't even taste bad, it's not a very good way to stop humans from eating it. So what's its real evolutionary motive here? Let's really think about this for a second. A poison that only makes you sick long after you've eaten the entire thing, well, that seems like a pretty bad design if you're trying to protect yourself from a big predator like us. So who, or what, is this poison really for? And this right here just illustrates the paradox perfectly. People who have accidentally eaten a death cap and by some miracle live to tell the tale have reported that it's not bitter or foul at all. In fact, they say it's quite tasty, which is just wild. Obviously, not worth it. So, scientists have a couple of leading ideas. One is that the toxins aren't for us, they're for the little guys, insects, slugs, soil pests. And we actually have evidence for this. Some species of flies have evolved a resistance to the toxin, which implies it's a real threat to them. The other idea is that the toxins help the mushroom in its symbiotic relationship with trees, maybe by fighting off other competing fungi in the soil. Okay, so we've got a mushroom that's a perfect accidental human killer. But this is where the story takes a really modern turn. It's spreading and it's changing. You see, the death cap used to be a European problem, but thanks to us, really global trade, travel, even just people transplanting trees with spores in the soil, it has successfully invaded new territories. It now thrives across North America and Australia, so what was once a local threat is now a global one. And it's not just spreading, it's adapting. A 2023 study compared the genetics of death caps from Europe with ones found in California, and they found that the very genes responsible for making the toxins were significantly different. This means the mushroom is under intense evolutionary pressure, actively fine-tuning its poisons for these new environments. And here's the real kicker. That same study revealed a huge diversity of these toxin-producing genes. What that means is the death cap has likely already created a whole cocktail of new toxins that science hasn't even had a chance to study yet. Its toxic arsenal is actively growing. So, after going through its history, its biology, and its pretty terrifying evolution, let's bring all this back home to a simple but crucial takeaway. The moral of the story is crystal clear, and it could literally save your life. Never, ever, ever eat a wild mushroom unless you are an expert and are 100% certain of what it is. If you have even a shadow of a doubt, just leave it alone. Or, do what I do and just stick to the ones you can buy at the grocery store. And this all leaves us with one last kind of chilling thought. The death cap is a dramatic example of evolution happening right under our noses, with deadly consequences. It really makes you wonder, what other dangers, what other silent dramas are quietly unfolding and evolving all around us, completely unseen?